In this video, we are going to use the for loop and the if-else in Dart. Previously, we have learned about the data types used in our program. This time, we're going to use for loop and the if-else. Okay, let's type here int x is equal to 0. Or let's say int x. So we are declaring our x variables as a integer data type. Now we're going to use the for loop. Now this is how you are going to um, type your for loop, for, and then the parentheses. Inside the for parentheses, there are three parts that we are going to place here. First part is the initialization. X is equal to 0. Separated by semicolon. The second part would be x is less than 3. Separated again by semicolon, and then x plus plus. Okay, again, we're gonna type the curly bracket or braces, place the closing curly bracket or brace below. And okay, that would be the arrangement. Now, let's put a space here to make it clearer. Okay, now the first part is what we call the initialization. We initialize the value of x. Uh, we initialize 0 as the value of x. Then the second part would be the condition. And the third part would be the modification. So in this case, we increment the value of x. Plus plus is used if you want to increment the value of x to 1. So you're just going to add 1 to the value of x, or whatever variable you're going to use. Now inside our for loop, we're going to write a type here, print, let's say flutter. Don't forget to place a semicolon at the end, and we are going to save this one. Control S on your keyboard. Let's go here. Then we type CLS to clear our screen. And then run the command. So we are displaying flutter 3 times. Now, here we are declaring the variable x as an integer data type. But if you like, you can put here inside here. So you can type here int, but you have to remove this one. In Dart, in order to make this line of code here as a comment, you can place at the beginning 2 forward slashes. So now if you want to remove that, you can just highlight this one, and then on your keyboard, press Control and the forward slash. Okay, if you want to make it as a comment, again, Control, highlight the line of code here, and then Control and forward slash on your keyboard. That's it. Now, in this case, we can't use the variable x outside the for loop if we do it like this. Let's say if we want to print here x, so it's giving us an error, undefined name x. But if you are going to place the declaration outside the for loop, then we can access the value of x after the for loop. It is like our x here is a global variable. It's inside our function, main function. We can access x here anywhere. But if we place the declaration inside the for loop, You can't access that outside the for loop. Okay, now let's use our if else statement. If so, if you're a C sharp programmer or a C programmer or a Java programmer, then you're familiar with this how we write it here in Dart. If x is equal to 3, again, don't forget the curly braces, open and closing. You place the closing below. Then we're going to print x, okay? The value of x is 3, semicolon. Now we're just gonna have our else statement here after the closing curly brace, else again, an open closing curly brace, put the closing curly brace below, then we type here print single quote, the value is not 3. The value of x is not 3. Semicolon at the end, Control S on our keyboard. Let's run it again. So flutter, 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 the value of x is 3. So it's easy. Now you understand how to use the for loop and the if else in our Dart programming. Now you can place here a nested else if you want. Else if, let's say here is equal to 0. Let's say now is x less than 3. The value of x is less than 3. Else if, again a parenthesis, x is equal to 3, then the value of x is equal to 3. And we have an else, open closing curly braces, print the value is greater than 3. Let's save it. Clear our screen by typing CLS, enter, arrow up, and then this command here, enter. So the value of x is equal to 3. Okay, so this is how you're going to write the if and else if statement. Of course, there is an else at the end, which means if these conditions here are not met, then it will have this statement here. So that's it for this lesson. See you in my next videos.